What's up, guys? This is Orson from Worldly Nomadic, currently in Taipei, Taiwan. Today, we're going to be talking about the 5 benefits of living abroad. Let's get right into it. And now the first benefit to living abroad is that everything is new. The food is going to be new, the people are going to be new, the culture is going to be new, and all of this newness creates a real sense of adventure. Especially for the first 6 months to maybe 1 year of living somewhere, all this newness is really going to be an exciting adventure. So I highly recommend trying as many things as you can when you move to a new country. Go on every hike that you can, see all the cultural and history museums. This way you can really dive into a country's culture and, learn about the relationship between, maybe even your own home country and the country that you've moved to. This is going to allow you to have a real good sense of depth, especially if you decide to stay in a country past the first year. It's going to really allow you to understand the culture more and deeper. The second benefit to living in a new country is that you're going to be gaining a lot of new opportunities. That's right, new opportunities when you move to a new country. For example, when I moved out here to Asia, I've seen that a lot of people can teach English out here. I've also met tons of people with online businesses and digital entrepreneurs, digital nomads, you could say. And I never really saw that back in my home country of the United States. Of course, people had online businesses, but most people would go and get a job and work for another company. But when you move out to a different country, there's just going to be tons of opportunities. And a lot of people are very driven to start these online businesses and online companies, and that's kind of affected me. That's why I'm trying to really grow this YouTube channel and provide some knowledge for you guys. So be ready for those opportunities when you move to a new country. The third benefit to moving abroad is that you're going to develop a high level of self-reliance, especially if it's a country that doesn't speak so much English and that's your native language. You're going to have to start to learn a new language. Once you move away from your old network, like your friends, your family, and your co-workers, then you really have to rely on yourself to use those social skills that you have, improve upon them, and build your network. Most people have a certain group of friends that they met from maybe high school or college and stick with them for a long time. But when you move to a new country, they're not there anymore. You can keep in touch with them, but whoever is around you is probably who you're going to spend the most time with. So you're going to go out, meet new people. You're going to have to rely on yourself to find those new opportunities. And the good thing about self-reliance is that it truly helps you grow as a person. So this is a great benefit of moving abroad. Now, the fourth benefit to moving abroad is that you start to think in a global mindset. It's 2019 now, and we're going into 2020 very soon. And as we continue and advance as a global society, we're going to see how globally connected we are. When we apply for a job online, oftentimes we're not just competing against people within our own city or country. We're now competing on an international scale. And so that kind of pushes us to develop our skills further. So once you move into a new country, you're going to meet a lot of people from a lot of different places. For example, when I came to Taiwan, I've met a lot of Taiwanese people, of course, but I've also met people from Japan, South Korea, Indonesia, Ireland, England. I've met people from all around the world just by coming to a new country. And of course, a lot of cities in the United States are quite culturally diverse, and you can meet people in your home country. But sometimes if you live in a small city, it's difficult to find such a large amount of people from different places. And so that's another great benefit when you move abroad. Now, the fifth benefit to moving abroad is that you really increase your sense of empathy. Because when you're meeting so many different people from so many different societies, it makes you think, what's normal in my society, my cultural upbringing might not be normal for somebody in a different culture. And so I have to start to think, from somebody else's shoes. For example, in the United States, after people graduate college, they mostly go out and live on their own and start to develop more of this individual identity. And although people still go back to see their family around Christmas or Thanksgiving, people tend to really have their own individual lives. And then while I've been in Asia, I've realized that the family unit is very important. I've lived in Vietnam and Thailand and Taiwan, and I've seen that here in Asia, the idea of the family unit is just very important. People might move back in with their families after graduating university, and it's quite a normal thing. While in the US, it's not as normal as a popular idea. Also, just today, I read in the news that in Japan, they officially changed the naming arrangement. So now, people must call themselves by their last name, the family name, and then their own first individual name, thus putting more importance on the family unit. The same thing happened when I was living in Vietnam. I met tons of people named Nguyen, Nguyen. And if I'm not mistaken, that was the name of a famous king a long time ago, or the family name Nguyen, which they say first, which is in contrast to the United States culture, where in the United States we have our individual name first and then the family name after. And then many people also have a middle name, but it's not so common to introduce yourself with the middle name. And so that's just another example of some of the cultural differences and a great way to build empathy through discovering new cultures, thinking, how have people been brought up? How can I communicate something in a way that properly says, oh, this is what I'm thinking, and properly conveys exactly your thoughts. And so that's another great benefit of living abroad. Thanks for watching this video, guys. If you've never been to a new country before, I highly recommend going and traveling to a new country or even moving to a new country, because the difference between traveling and moving is vast. When you travel to a new country, you're going to go ahead and see really the great parts of the country, because you're going to be traveling and seeing new cities, and you won't really be dealing with too many issues for just a couple weeks. But if you move to a new country for a year or longer term, then you're going to have all the great parts, but you're also going to have to learn to deal with the problems and challenges that come with living in a new society. And that's going to give you much more of a longer term, in-depth experience. So definitely book that plane ticket, guys. Have you been to a new country outside your home country before? If you have, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear where you've gone to and where you're from. Thanks. See you next time.